Welcome back to Breakfast Central. It's time for us to see the big stories on the front pages of the newspapers, and also we'll be bringing you in on the conversation. The phone lines will be open and the numbers to call are on your TV screen. Please remember to turn down the volume of your TV set before you call. This morning we'll be analyzing the front pages of the newspapers with public affairs analyst Sheson Okwade. Good morning. It's always a delight to have you.
Yeah, good morning, Oliver, and good morning.
Thanks for joining us.
Maybe I would say Baraka the Salah, even though I did not
The Salah didn't Baraka on your side.
Yeah, the ram that they sent to me was overexcited, coming to meet a public affairs analyst and jumped inside the well.
Wait, I saw a video on social media. Was that your ram? No way. At least they even sent ram to you.
But let me say Happy Father's Day to at least it was another day for women to be celebrated. You know, the women we have about 7, 8. So that little one that we have, let's celebrate ourselves.
Absolutely.
Well, Happy Father's Day to me in advance, you know.
It doesn't matter whether you are here or not.
There's
It's
somebody
not
that has my child that hasn't told me yet, but I don't think that.
I also received Mother's Day greeting, even though I don't.
It doesn't mean that you are.
I mean,
you
you
are
have
a father.
nephews and nieces.
Yeah, all those ones that call you big.
yes.
There are some that will call you Big Dad, Big Daddy, Big Daddy. So don't worry.
Let me not say that.
Who are these? Okay,
But anyway,
let's move on to news headlines and see what the front pages of the papers have to say this morning. And the front page is the Punch newspaper. On the front page of the Punch, Rivers crisis, cop killed as youth dislodged Pro-Wike local government chairman. Fubara amidst security chiefs warns against arrest of his supporters. Police take over 23 local government secretariats to forestall violence. Federal government seeks UNESCO recognition for Ojude Oba Festival. I mean, I think it's a beautiful one. We talked about it at the beginning of the show. Cholera, WHO, UNICEF hold emergency meeting. Experts warn corpers. That will be core members, I believe. Abducted Fuani MD, 3 Lebanese reunite with families. There was also controversy as to whether the police did or didn't in this story. Saraki Abdul Razak trade words over Ilorin Doba attendance. $72 million diversion. Reps panel summons Ajib, NNPC, and others. Federal government offers 17 new oil blocks for bidding. Revenue generating office agencies owe federal government over 3 trillion naira according to FARC. And final story, Kano Emirates Senate denies alleged emergency rule. NBA probes lawyers. That's all on the Punch. Let's move to the Daily Independent.
All right, Daily Independent this morning also starts with Rivers State. It says Rivers Council tenure crisis. Policeman, vigilante die as youths protest return of ex-local government chairman. Pull down Wike's statue at Obiakpo local council headquarters. I did see that yesterday.
Yes, I saw that.
Very,
as well.
very interesting. Fubara asks heads of administration to take charge of local governments. Vows to protect Rivers people, condemns plans to arrest supporters. Federal government announces readjustments criteria for awards of oil blocks. Rail track vandalism, theft of electric cables, act of sabotage, says President Tinubu. And also, Labour Party cautions Tinubu against mocking Nigerians with hardship. No confirmed cases of cholera in Abia State. 1 or 2 others because of time. Why control the flights straight into restricted airspace in Abuja, says the NTAA. And also, APC tackles Kwankwaso over claim federal government is creating new Boko Haram terrorists. These are the big stories on the Daily Independent. I'm going to quickly, do we have time to quickly move to the Vanguard?
Yes, let's quickly move to the Vanguard. On the front page of the Vanguard, I'm going to start with a story that has controversy, and I'm hoping that the police can come and clear the air. How Lagos police rescued kidnapped Fuani MD, 4 others in midnight raid. Univen graduates beaten and raped to death in Edo. This is despicable. Cholera. Some Lagos schools may not resume from break, according to the commissioner. NUPRC adds 17 new blocks to 2024 oil bid round. Nigerians not alone in poverty. Atiku, Labour Party tackle Tinubu. Mayhem in Rivers as Wike Fubara's feud spills to local government headquarters. Resident doctors beg for more physicians at General Hospital Ilorin. And that would be the stories that we have. Okay, finally, NFF accepts Finidi's resignation. Congratulations to them. And that's all we have there. Let's start with Nigerians not alone in poverty. Atiku and Labour Party tackle Tinubu. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been accused of not being sensitive to the plight of Nigerians, especially in the recent times with the conversation about purchasing a new aircraft, which was heavily criticized by Peter Obi and a number of Nigerians as well. But in an address, I did see that online where he was saying that I mean, we're not the only ones suffering. Nigerians are not. He said, yes, there's poverty. There's suffering in the land. We are not the only people facing such. But we must face our challenges. We must find a way to eliminate banditry and terrorism so that farmers can bring out food from the farmlands. And this, he said, in Lagos, when he received a delegation from the National Assembly who came to felicitate with him on the occasion of Eid al-Kabir. Would you say that his body language has shown that he's passionate about Nigeria's economic woes?
Well, to me, I'm not seeing any body language, not to even say if the body language is in line to confirm what is actually happening. Because truth be told, that it's over a year now that they've taken over the position of authority, and things are not just in line with it, most especially in terms of security. We have said that it's only a secured environment that you can see prosperity, moving on. And that's why we've had a serious setback, with this that we are currently faced with. If I must tell you, the health challenges that is on the rampage now is as a result of the failure when it comes to this issue of food shortages that we are faced with. Everybody is just preparing whatever they want to prepare without any check, even by the agencies responsible for it. And people are just consuming because it's about what is available for you to take, not in terms of quality or what you just have to see. So when you go out, somebody is just putting food on your table and you've not eaten since morning. Will you be asking the type of water they use to prepare it, or you want to find out the kind of tomato or pepper that they use? All you want at that point in time, because you're hungry, is to consume. Yep. And when you look at what the president is saying, that fine, poverty ravaged everywhere. Our own is peculiar. If people can be migrating from this country to other country and they are giving testimony that they are better off, you ask yourself, with the natural resources that we are endowed with and the level of the intellect that we are, failure in terms of our system has seen us where we are today. Yes. Because when you look at even the security they are talking about, when you go ahead to make some reports to the security agencies, how swiftly do they? There are times that we have advance notice on some of the issues that will happen. But are we proactive enough to nip it at the bud? You are about asking a question about the Fuani and his team that were actually, I asked myself the question, if that is happening in Lagos, because I know for Fuani MSD, you can imagine those people at that level. They don't walk alone. They have their security orderly that follows them here and there in sophisticated vehicle, and they can still be kidnapped. How much more just an ordinary person that is perceived to be in the class of those guys being taken away without anybody checkmating the activity? So I feel that there is still more to be done when it comes to security of our land, because that is the major focus where we are having this food scarcity. And if you don't tame it now, I think we'll have a worse thing when it comes next year.
Yeah, just to say that when we hear statements like, oh, Nigerians are not alone in poverty, and, when they try to use those things as excuses, across the world, oh, there's a global recession, or COVID-19 happened, we're never comparing, or, it feels like a poverty Olympics. We're never comparing ourselves with positive things happening in other parts of the world. We're never saying that Nigeria is also, at par with healthcare, with, transportation infrastructure, with, basic, education infrastructure. We never compare ourselves with other countries like that. The presidency and his persons always would say, things. I mean, we're only comparing when it comes to negative things. Everybody's suffering. There's hunger everywhere. COVID-19 affected everybody. There's a global recession. It's never about anything positive.
You see, Osagaito will say that when they come out with that statement, I always refer to it as more of political, because when you ask yourself that we are not in poverty, we are in this poverty together. The money spent on fixing the renovating, because it's not a complete
vice president's house.
House. We are already talking about getting a new aircraft for Mr. President, of which we consider as important. We speak of so much money that are into several areas. Our power is really not improving. Security is not improving. There is no food. Unemployment keeps increasing on daily basis with people retrenching. So you ask yourself that when you see the flamboyancy on the part of the people leading us, I've asked the question, are there no other vehicles that you consider relatively, lower than 160 million that our leaders can make use of? We know a lot of them have even vehicles that are bigger than what they are actually given to them. Can't we have in this country where our leaders, because they said they are there to serve, make use of certain, things on their part to say, this is what I'm putting on the table, at least as my contribution, because I understand the pain everybody is going through. It is when we start saying that we know that we are in this poverty to say, what Osags or what this person is entitled to is sacrificing it, all because he understands that there is no fund on some of those things.
Let's quickly jump to River State. It's one of the things that is on every newspaper this morning. I think on the Punch, it says Rivers Crisis Cops killed as a youths dislodged pro-Wiki local government chairman. Same thing with the Daily Independent this morning. We have Austin Azu, who is in Rivers this morning, to give us a live feed from what's going on over there. Austin, can you hear us?
Yeah, good morning.
All right. Seems very calm over there this morning. Give us, live updates. What has River State been like in the last 24 hours?
Of course, I'm currently at opposite the Haspat Campus, and behind me, about 400 meters away, we will have the Port Harcourt City local government. Currently, the security agencies have controlled the place up, denying everyone access to the place. As of yesterday, the protesters marched there for a very long time before the security personnel came to disperse them. So this morning, we have the presence of heavy security personnel who are currently on the ground. So because of their presence and they have denied everyone access, we couldn't go further than this place. This is the best we can actually stand at the moment, because everyone who is going there will be asked to revert back. But however, the latest development this morning seems that there's going to be a screening committee for the caretakers who are going to take over the local government across the 23 local government areas of River State. So far, so good. I think it's getting more relaxed, unlike what we had of yesterday. Security personnel have taken over the 23 local government areas at this point in time. So we are waiting for the development as we are supposed to keep updating whatever is happening here in Port Harcourt.
All right. How would you say that the youths are handling all of this? We've been seeing conversations about protest violence, some level of violence springing up in different parts of the state. And also, do we have feedback regarding how exactly the government, the River State government, present and past, are reacting to this drama?
But we should know that the still between the two factions started since October last year, and the field is still correctly there. What made that yesterday and subsequent days before now?
Austin, you seem to have maybe muted your device. If you can help us, with your sound, we can't hear you anymore. Okay, we seem to be struggling with, the sound from Austin Azu. They're just trying to get live feed from him in River State this morning. Let us know exactly what the situation is. The reports say at least a life was lost yesterday with the violence that erupted concerning the local government chairman. Let's bring back Mr. Akwande to share with us, your thoughts from all the developments in River State. 1 week, one trouble for Governor Sim Fubara.
Yeah, I think my perspective to this issue is our politicians should know. It's not about you assuming that you actually brought someone to power and you will not give him the freedom to do. As far as River State is concerned today, the man we know at the helm of affair is Fubara, Governor Fubara. Whether it's by intervention of a leader or anyone, we should give him the freedom to carry out some of the things he has actually, while he was making the promises to the governor, to the people of River State, it was not through the influence of any leader. It was him making that commitment. And at this point, I feel I will want to appeal to the Minister of Works to please allow the man to have, the Minister of FCT to please try as much as possible to allow him to have a role. Because for years to come, this Fubara will be asking questions. All this drama should be minimized for good governance to operate in Rivers State. And the second aspect to it is, if you look at the reaction of the security agency, I think we should be proactive. We've seen this, we saw this coming, let me put it that way, that yesterday there's going to be this Proweke and Fubara, challenging themselves with what we have. What was our action? I'm happy that this morning they've actually said they've taken over all the local government, at least to tame those things. I feel that right from Sunday, that should have been what we should have sent the security agency, carried out to tame the activity. It does not worth it we losing life of our citizen on what does not really count in this aspect.
Why would you say, what is the underlying political issue here? Why do you think it's difficult for local government chairmen to simply step aside after their 3-year tenure has elapsed?
Sachs, you and I know now, when you enjoy the largesse, it's difficult for you to pull out. Why will you ask a governor that claimed that he has come to serve us for 4 years, asking for return, that he wants to have it the second time? If indeed it's for service and you complain that it's not easy to be on that desk, why will you want to go back? Yeah, but because of the largesse, you need to see these people when they are out of office. When they are out of office, most of the time, people that have not been in that office are better off than some of them, because it is about so much power and concentration you are giving to that office. And I think that's what they are enjoying, because nobody checks their activity. In fact, for local government chairman, I'm always saying it, that they are out there, they will complain that the state is really not giving them fund, but the little that they are actually generating as revenue, how many of it are they giving back to the people? So it's about the corruption epidemic that has entered into our politics that is allowing them. Because if you have served for 3 years and you are aware, you know of a fact that your tenure has expired, why are you asking for elongation, even by 1 day? You should go back and allow the caretaker committee to take their leave. That's just the way I feel, that when you know that your term is tenured and you have fulfilled that which is expected of you, go back and let people come and say, okay, let's choose. Allow the empire that is commissioned to do that. If you feel that you still want to give the service back to the people and you have done it the way they should be, go back to the level playing ground and let's see the best that you can do in terms of that. But I feel that because of the corruption and the things they enjoy while they are in office makes them to glue and stick and make it a do or die affair when you ask them to leave office at any point in time.
Yeah.
Well, there's so many areas to look at, right? Beyond that, they would also talk about why the elections were not held, even though some people's response to that would be the fact that the governor has not even had time to actually be governor, because it feels like he's been fielding off attacks ever since he was sworn into office as governor.
Yeah, if election has not been held, it's none of that does not give you the prerogative to say you are extending your days. Your days expire so period. You excuse and leave the governor to take decision on next thing to do. He might even be the one to say, okay, we've considered that we are supposed to hold the election and it's really not working. I'm giving you extra 2-3 months so that we'll be able to fortify, not you fighting or actually pulling your weight against the wish of the governor. If the governor say your time has expired, we no longer. We've seen instances where you will see some permanent secretary after their retirement period, or people in politics, or people will tell them, please, can we have an extension because we've seen the good thing you've done. That is on the prerogative of the governor, not you struggling power to say because elections have not been held, you want to elongate your term in office. It doesn't really, don't let's set precedent that we cannot manage in future.
Even the idea that the governor can, by himself extend, the time of a local government chairman. I don't even think that is right, because
it's not. I'm only saying it that rather than you struggling,
Yeah.
If it is in the prerogative of the party, it might say, okay, we have actually dissolved the council chairman, but I'm setting up a caretaker committee of which he might still consider you to continue
And
at that point
with
in
that,
time.
And you remember that the Attorney General currently is challenging the idea of setting up caretaker committees, in replacement of local government chairman. Why I'm saying so is that every single person in this whole conversation has some blame.
Yeah.
Of course.
Everybody has a role
Governor
to play.
Fubara cannot say that, the state has been in so much turmoil, political crisis, and that's why I've not been able.
Yeah,
That is
it's
no
really not an excuse.
That's
It's
your,
not.
That's your personal
And
problem.
even if he wants to talk about the repealing of the amendment that was made to the local government laws, he was aware of whatever amendment was being made. He could have challenged it at the court.
At the
earlier.
court.
I think that they all have.
Everybody has one or
But-
two, and it's about interest in all this game.
Again, it is very highly politicized. Before we wrap up, in 30 seconds, I really want us to talk about this as quickly as we can. Uniben graduates beaten and raped to death in Edo. I've just looked up the details of the story. Her name is Glory Adekolore Idowu. She was reportedly raped to death on the 13th of June. Now, this young woman, 22-year-old graduate, had finished from school and went back for her clearance when she was beaten, raped, and this is such a terrible way to wrap up the newspaper review. And we're calling on the Nigerian police to please do the best that they can to get justice for Glory. To be honest, when I hear stories like this and the family is calling for justice, nothing really can be justice at this point because there's nothing that they would do that would make her, bring her back to life or make her not have been raped. So the very least we are asking for is to find out who the culprits are and ensure that these culprits face their time, in jail. It's really sad, and our hearts and our thoughts go out to Glory's family.
Absolutely.
All right, Mr. Sheson, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Maybe I will just add to what you have said just in 30
Yes.
seconds. I had a very sad incident to an Oba with a family, a man who lost his life to one of these truck drivers who drove recklessly, And that's why I will always say our agencies meant to check some of these things you try. We have so many underage driving this truck, and they never value the life of other road users when they are driving. Let's just try to take caution, at least to minimize the level at which we send people to untimely death, because it is not actually good for the image of our country as a nation.